Hello everybody, I'm Serta and welcome back to Techtonica. We've set up our mining operations, which I will refine because the belts are a spaghetti mess. We've set up our smelting operations, and in between episodes I set up a few assemblers just to make some critical items that we're going to need to progress. But in order to get anywhere, we're going to need a couple of things. If you ever look at the tasks and tips on the left-hand side, we need 40 processor units in order to supply and repair the one door. We also need to use an assembler to craft accumulators and place them on a power floor. So right now we don't even have those technologies unlocked. So we are going to build out a little production line with assemblers to make all the basic components that we're going to need throughout the game. Some of them much more important than others, and I need to crank that thing again. So let's get stuck in. Before we can even think of going forward, we haven't unlocked the ability to make processor units or accumulators. So we're going to... The processor units need 30 research cubes, and the accumulators need 40. Now, I'm not going to go and stack those up in Lima where I've been doing all the rest, and I'm certainly not going to handcraft them because, remember, assembler does double the amount that you can craft. So why go through all of that? Just as a quick side note, if you press Alt, you go into Alt mode and it shows you what the assemblers are producing. So that's pretty nifty. So I've set up these assemblers and they've been crafting different things. This one's made some power floors, which we are desperately going to need. This one, we have a whole bunch of purple cubes and we've also got some assemblers ready to go. So I'm going to grab those. And this one I've just been making mechanical parts because we need a lot of them. And we're going to make sure that we integrate them into a production line. So let's head over to our core composer and load them up and let it compose some cores. Alright, so you can't manually feed cores into the core composer directly. So I've put a little box over here and I'm going to drop those in. And what they're going to do is it's going to transfer these across. I've got some fast inserters loading them so that it goes pretty quickly. And they will just automatically pile them on. Oh, there you go. Right, and that will just go as high as it can. So we're going to leave that to run, and let's go and have a look at our research. We've got 58 already loaded, which means, let's see, what's more important? I think right now the accumulators are important, so we'll just hold down and unlock that. And under science, we're going to unlock the processor unit. Now there's some small ones that I can just get out of the way. And those will do it for now. I'll just let the rest build up and we can decide what's important going forward after that. Okay, I haven't unlocked the ability to make the fast inserters yet, but yeah, that's on its way. It's not important now. I'm just going to do everything with the basics, and then we can upgrade things later. So, with our assemblers, let's have a look at how we're going to lay this out. First things first, we know, because I've played this, that there are only 3 items that are made out of copper on its own, and that is the frames, the copper components, and the copper wires. Those use copper bars. Those are the only 3 items that use copper bars. Then we have the mechanical components that use copper bars and iron bars. Okay, so those 3 only use copper bars. That uses both. And it uses at a ratio where you use more iron than copper. So that's pretty cool. And then iron bars and copper wire for the electrical components. And then, okay, this we're going to get to at some point. It's a little way away. Maybe we'll start it on in this episode. And then processor units, we're going to need plant matter frames, which we're also going to have to get to relatively soon because we do need to unlock processor units and start building them. So let's grab our assembler. This, I think, is a good place to start out. And the first 2 things that we're going to build on either side, this is going to be copper frames. Now, I can't stress the importance of copper frames and iron frames. They become very important, so don't ignore them. Alright, So that's what those two are going to do, and that's pretty easy because then we can just take inserters, pop them in. We're going to need to craft a couple of crates because I don't have any, and then we're going to store those items. And we're just going to let this run because, like I said, very, very important. Okay, so those are underway. Right, next one. I'm going to leave a gap just in case we need to run other lines through later on. It will extend the build out a little bit, but we have a bit of space, so I'm not too concerned. This one will be set to make copper components, and we'll feed those in, and we'll feed them out. Now, bear in mind, I am just setting up the basics. So, normal belts, normal inserters, and yeah, we'll just let that go. And as it turns out, I put this in exactly the wrong place. So, we'll just move it over one. There we go. And we'll put down our containers and extend this belt. Now we might as well push it through a little bit further because we are going to use these items. Copper components over there. Right, next thing on the iron side. Now, we need a lot of mechanical components. A lot. So I'm going to build, I think I'm going to build 2. And I'm not going to leave a space between them. The mechanical components use 3 irons and 2 coppers. Now, that's the reason I put them on this side, is because we are going to use regular inserters to feed the iron in. And then we're going to use long inserters to feed the copper in. And we'll set this one. In fact, you know, I think what I'm going to do here is maybe I'm going to do 3. Just because we need them that much. And then we're probably going to need 1 more. And I'll give that one a little bit of room. Because there is one thing that uses iron only. Let's put mechanical components there and extend the belt. And this one will make iron components. And we'll feed that in, and then we're just going to plop all the containers down. That's that. And grab some inserters. Now, the inserters are obviously going to change. These may not be enough. Especially for some things that produce a lot of items. Okay, but right now we have... Oh dear. Yeah, power. Oh, we need to get that sorted out pretty quickly, otherwise it's going to pose... It's going to just be painful. Okay, so these are some of our basic components that are done. And we can actually remove this belt up to... let's remove it up to there. We don't actually need that anymore. What I'd like to do now... Put another assembler in. I'm going to give this some space as well. It doesn't matter if they don't line up. They don't need to line up. I'm going to put that assembler in here, and this assembler is going to make us the electrical components, which take iron. Let's just check the ratio. It uses 1 iron ingot and 3 copper wires. Now, conveniently, we have copper wires right there. So if I run a belt through... wait. I need to fix this up. This isn't right. Yeah, I forgot I had 3 of these. And also, we haven't actually made copper wire yet. So that's something we're going to have to do. So let's do that first. Alright, so copper wire, and that uses... It just uses copper ingots. So I'll run that through. Inserter... okay. Alright. And I'm just going to have to take this belt 1 more space over. That just means we can move this one over by 1. Give ourselves a little more room. Because essentially this is where the copper belt is going to end. 1 more? Yeah, 1 more. Set it to copper wire. And then we'll come and put the container in. Another inserter. and that will do its thing. Now we can get to the electrical components, but I need to make some more of these. Okay, set that one to electrical components. Now, electrical components need iron and copper wire. So we have access to iron directly, and we also have access to copper wire. So if we go like this, bring this around to the front, inserter in there, a long inserter in there. That should give us what we need once we've put inserters over here. Alright, we might as well double this up now, because this makes 8 copper wire at a time. So yes, there's plenty of production. This is coming in, it's taking 3 copper wire. Perfect. Put our container in, put that in, and we are now making electrical components. That takes us one step closer to making the processor units, which, if we have a look, take electrical components plus plant matter frames. Now, plant matter frames are something completely different. Okay, now between episodes, oh geez, 5 minutes already. Between episodes, I built a couple of miners getting limestone because we were just not keeping up. Not sure if we're keeping up now, because I haven't checked for a while. But yeah, we're dropping pretty rapidly. We're going to need to formalize the setup. Okay, so right now we're producing all of these very nifty base components, and these are components that are used in pretty much everything else. And it's good to have a stockpile of them. But we need to kind of expand that to produce things that we are going to need, like, urgently. I'm going to go grab those frames that we've been building, because we need to extend the floor out on this side. Okay, floor is extended. And while I'm remembering it, we'll just activate the crank. Okay, so if you push P, you have a power graph, and it shows you that you're currently producing 2,400 kilowatts. Oh wait, yeah, 2,400 kilowatts. You're using 400 odd kilowatts, and your accumulator charge is 120 megajoules. Now that energy can, if your production on power stops, that energy, that battery power, gets used for a time to run machines that are currently active. So the more accumulators, the more backup you have. But that won't matter later. Okay, I made a little mistake here with my planning. I went back and had a look at my sketches, and it turns out power floors, we put one of these down. Power floors use copper wire and iron ingots. And if we put another one down, we'll see that containers use iron components and iron ingots. So it makes sense to have, because both of these use iron components, it makes sense to have this machine in the middle of these two. So I'm going to change this one to iron components. And that's going to pull iron off the belt. Oh, we're having a problem. We need faster belts, and yeah, the iron's just not getting down here. But we'll ramp that up, so that's fine. This is going to start making iron frames. Oh, sorry, the power floors. And if we bring the belts down, cases, now we don't really need a lot of them, so having them at the end of the line is not really a big issue. And that means we just have to extend this belt to there. Put in a long inserter. And, oh wait, I've got the wrong one here again. Long inserter. So that is now making our power floors. This is making iron components. This is making cases. Now I'm going to have a bit of an issue later on. Okay, these we're going to just transfer between machines. Okay, so you're going to be getting your iron components from this machine, your iron ingots from the belt, this one copper from this belt and iron from this belt, and that should sort that out. Okay, but now none of this is really going to work properly until we've upped the amount of ingots coming through. So we should probably start thinking about speeding up mining, although we're not backing up, so we can actually speed up the mining, and we do that by going into our research. Synthesis. Okay, that's smelting speed. There we go. Mining speed 2, and that takes 70. We got 151, so let's do that. And then we also want to jack up smelting speed. That's 110. We don't have enough, but we will get back there. We also need fast inserters, and right now that's blocked because we need to get filter inserters, which we'll get. Now we need 210 for that. Okay, you can see this is a large number of purple cubes that we need to get the fast inserters, and we actually need the fast inserters pretty badly, because although the mining is now ramped up, it's still being handled somewhat by the smelters, and the smelters need faster input in order to smelt, because we're going to speed them up, so we need to load them a little bit faster. And right now, the coming out is not a problem. I think it's the going into the smelters that's the problem. So yeah, we're going to ramp that up. In the meantime, we're going to need a lot more research. So I've shoved a little bit of material into this machine, and we're just pushing out new research cores. This machine I've set to start making us accumulators, but we're missing one vital element, and that is the Kindle Vine extract. Now, I've got some on me, and I suppose we could use it. And we'll just shove that in, and we'll let these build. It's not going to build too many because, you know, it needs quite a lot. So I'm probably only going to get 16 accumulators, but that's fine. That'll get us started, and maybe that's enough to get that unlock done. But in the meantime, it's just going to be a matter of building up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get more research done, and I'll be back. We have a lot of research now, 537. So let's put it into action. First thing I want to do, smelting speed. Next thing, planters and threshers. The reason for that is because we are going to need components that you can only get from doing a bit of farming. Next thing, fast inserters. Got to get those. And that sorts us out for now with a little change. So we've got 162 left. We've also made some accumulators, so let's get those sorted out. Now, I was just playing around with layouts while I was waiting for the research. Normally I would be running around exploring, but I wanted to make... I didn't want to find anything without you guys seeing it, so yeah. So let's go and put in the accumulators and see if we've got enough to carry on with unlocking areas.
Local signal deciphered. Ingress HA
there we go.
1976.
Alright, let's see.
New location added to HUD. Beware of current.
Ah, this is the spot I've been looking for. This will start making our lives a little bit easier. And that is in that direction. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach to getting there. Instead of trying to drill through the wall, I'm going to go another way. So if we head through our accumulator room, where we have a lot of working accumulators now, and we go around the back, and then we head north up this river. Now we're going to head up this way, up the small river, continue north. Sorry, I turned and went the wrong way, so I'm heading north. And it looks like I'm going to need to break through from this side. And I will do that over here. And our signal is leading us to here.
Before they adjusted our suits for them, those creeper plants used to reach out and try to grab anybody who walked by.
Okay, so what we have here is a little mini power station, and it's got some nifty stuff. So I'm going to start scanning, and this is a water wheel, and we need 2 of them. That won't be a problem. There's plenty here. And there's also a cube to scan. That gives us 3 out of 4 blue research, which is quite nice.
The sooner you
There's
scan these
more
water
stuff to
wheels,
scan.
the closer you'll be to never having to turn a crank generator again. We should check out that
And
office.
that's what I'm after. Okay, now the reason I wanted to come through here is specifically because I want to head through back to our base. So if we grab our power floors and we come out a little bit, I think I could probably flatten in that direction, and that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, give me a moment. Then I'm going to change back to tunneling. And we're going to push through right in the south direction. And this should bring us in right over, I think, our limestone deposit, if I'm seeing the map correctly. Just like that. Here we are. Okay, it's a long tunnel. It's a very nice looking tunnel. But this gives us the opportunity to connect all of that power to our base. So that's what we'll do. Right, before we get this all completely connected up, I do need to do some repairs. The way these work, the Mark 1 crank generators, you need to put 2 crank generators to a water wheel. So right now there are too many water wheels here. No, there's not. Okay, so I'll just get that one out of the way. These rocks, as far as I remember, are destructible, so we're going to connect all the power floors together. Yeah. Okay, that looks a little neater. The existing water wheels that were here, okay, they all turn in the wrong direction. Here's another one to scan. That's unfortunate. And another. Okay, we're really short of water wheels. I've got a couple of water wheels on me that I found through my travels, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in over here. Let's see, where's the best place to do this? This needs to get closed. Yeah, okay. So we'll do the ones on this side first, because I have some crank generators as well. And I'm going to put them the correct way around. It's going to look funky, but hey, you know, what can you do? Okay, so we've got 2, which means that each side here can drive 4 of these crank generators, and I have 5 on me, so let's put those in. Cool, and now we're generating power without having to do anything. So we need to just make 4 more crank generators. And then we can have 8 on each side, which is great. But that's 16. I think it's more than we've got at our base at the moment, which is excellent. So for now, this is what we can do, and then we can just connect up the floors. All right, and then on that side, we'll connect the floors to our floors, and this power will be continuous coming through for us. All right, so there's a building. So let's go and have a look at what we need to do here. Although, before we do that, there's something to scan. All right, what do we need to open this? Advanced circuits 800, processor units 300. That is pretty much impossible at this stage of the game. We don't even have access to advanced circuits. They are way down the line. However, Sparks does give us a little hint, because it appears that a big rock fell through and destroyed the roof of this building. So we can hop in this way.
I like the way you think, Breaker. Why fix a door when the ceiling is wide open?
Alright, so we start scanning things. The expedition is added to our databank. Some hard drives. Cool dense 3. Excellent. Accumulator 3. World Bearer has been added to our databank. And I walked right past this one earlier. And that is the voltage auto step, which is that machine over there, a little transfer unit, which allows you to connect platforms together with cable. All right, cool. So yeah, we've got everything in this area. And there are a couple of things nearby that I'd like to get to before I finish the connection to our main base. One of them is up here, somewhere up here as far as I remember. Alright, not the easiest one to spot. We've come around here, and it's underneath a rock, or it's inside a rock. So, HVC reach 3. Cool. Now if we head closer to the base again, if you look at the mini-map, there's a green dot directly to the north of this position. So, let's have a look at the map and see where it is in relation. It's almost on the same level as us. So I'm just going to punch through and go and fetch it. We should be very close, and yeah, there it is. Now, what do we get? Okay, well, decent stuff. Okay, let's head back and connect this to our base. We are all connected up here. Oh, missing a tile. And then we'll have more permanent power. I do have some more stairs left over that I picked up from before, so I can line this up correctly and hopefully be back far enough. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so we've connected with stairs, but that doesn't mean we connected with power. So I'm going to have to bring power. I'll bring one power floor out in this direction. Okay, so that should connect us to the top grid, which means if we check our power now, we're still getting 1200 kil. Oh, yes, of course. That's because we aren't switched on. All right. 3,600 kilowatts, 3.6 megawatts, looking strong. And with that, we actually have enough power to start our farming, so that we can get those plant matter frames and processes going. Right, while I was waiting for the build-up, did a lot of thinking on my layout. It's not perfect, but it works, and I've planned for the future as well, so you can see where it's all red. Those haven't been assigned because I don't have those technologies yet. I know they're coming because I played it, but yeah. So this layout sort of works. This was temporarily put in to make containers, but I have enough now. It was never the intention to bulk produce them, so that's going to change once we get the whole farming thing set up. We're gonna start that in this episode. We'll finish it in the next, but crank. I actually don't even need the cranks anymore because my little setup on the other side is producing enough power, which is excellent. No, fantastic. And I have been producing more research. I've just let this carry on. I keep coming back, come back from time to time, top it up. And yeah, we have a few. So I also noticed that this has stopped growing, so we're going to need to move. Now, this is something that you can take note of. You don't need multiple core composers because first, let's hold this down. And you can... Oh, there's nothing in there. That's amazing. I think it's because I already took them out. Okay. But you can see there's a red flashing cross. That means that we cannot put any more into this tower, which means we're going to take this core composer and we're going to move it. Now I just have to position it nicely. Let's see how... I didn't check, but I think it was flush with the back end. Yeah. And we'll just leave a little bit of space. Okay, push back. Come on, there we go. We'll leave a little bit of space. And we'll pop it in over there. Okay. So that's going to grow up in this area. I just need to get rid of all of these and move them over so I can start on this side. Now we can just start over here. And once I put my cores in there, That should start working. All right, good. We do have 231 available, but there's nothing that I need desperately. What I would like to get is Conveyor Mark II. So yeah, that's what we're kind of working towards. I'm also going to break down some of these because I don't need this many anymore, and they are going to be in the way. What I've done is, okay, I've looped the mechanical parts around this way because we need it for all three of these. The filter inserter doesn't take mechanical parts, but that's going down for something else. But it does take electronic parts, and it takes the basic inserters. This one takes basic inserters and mechanical parts, so those are feeding in here. Alright, I've done another basic inserter build because this fast inserter needs some of those, but it also needs processor units, which we're not producing just yet because we still need another element from the farming. And it also takes Kindlevine extract, which is also from the farming. So this is ready for that. Then there's another one coming. I'm not too concerned about that. We'll talk about that when it arrives. The belts basically just take mechanical parts, mechanical components, and there are a couple more over here. So that's basically how the system works. It's not brilliant, but you know, you can't build everything in the same place and have belts nicely. At some point your belts are going to have to do some funky stuff. Right, let's start on the farming. We're not going to go full bore on it, but we will get it started because that's pretty important. Oh, and this is the one plant that doesn't disappear when you build around it. So yeah, that's kind of in the way as well. But we're going to work around that. That's fine. Okay, we're going to come 2 away from the edge. Whoop. And we're going to build 6. And we're going to leave a 3 gap between them because they are inputs. Then we're going to put a box over here. Now I must just check my spacing because I'm not sure that I'm going to have enough. And there is going to end up being a belt coming across the top, so I think perhaps I just need to move these over a little bit. I hope I can bring a belt through over here. Let's check. Ah, good, we can. Okay, this is in the wrong direction, but that's fine. At least I know I can put a belt there. We're going to need an output. This will be outputting from the outside. All right, this is the side with the biggest squeeze, so this is where I'm going to have to do a little bit of measuring. That's going to go in there. This will then feed out of there and head down the middle. This is going to feed this way. Okay, this is going to annoy me. This is going the wrong direction, so let me just quickly sort that out. That's going to feed out, and it's going to turn this way and go up here. Now, I'm not sure of the ratios. It's going to be a little tricky, but yeah, we'll sort that out. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do what I wanted to do here. Yeah, there's just not enough space because I need to put a thresher in, and the thresher is quite a big machine. Yeah, this is going to be very tricky. I will not be able to do it here. Alright, I'm going to have to bring this out. So I'll do the same thing that I was going to do. I'm just going to move this over here, which is fine because most of the processing is going to happen over the side anyway. Wrap that around the corner. Alright, so I need to move this one across. Okay, we are going to just pop one of these in very briefly, and then these 2 ports are going to output. And they're going to go this way, and I'm going to just tuck them around this corner and loop them into here. Okay, so this is going to be the return of the seeds. So this thresh is going to put out material, and it's going to have an input on this side. Oop, not that. We'll put 2 inputs there. 2 inputs. Why did this ramp up? Oh, please don't tell me it's the plant. No, apparently it was just me. Alright, and this is where the filter inserters start coming into play. Because we know that there are going to be things coming out of here. We know that seeds are going to come out this side. And we only want the seeds coming out this side. And then on the other side, we're going to get a lot of another product which needs to be taken out quite quickly. And that, I believe, is Kindlevine stems. So we'll just copy that across to all of those. Alright, so that's kind of the basics of farming. We're going to get two things. We're going to get one item out. And, well, we can't really see it, but it's ready to harvest. But we get Kindlevine out. We put the Kindlevine into the thresher. The thresher then threshes, it puts seeds out, and it puts Kindlevine stems out. The seeds go back into the planters through a buffer, just in case we have a backup. There should probably be a buffer for this Kindlevine stems as well. Sorry, for the Kindlevine. But we will sort that out in the next episode. We'll also do the cooling systems, because the Kindlevine's the hot stuff, and the other stuff is cooling stuff. So we'll get that system set up as well. This is not ideal, and I maybe think about moving something, but it wouldn't really matter. Yeah, we'll get the farming done, and then we can add a couple of new elements. We'll be able to get our plant matter frames, get our processor started, and yeah, it all looks very good. So if you enjoyed this, give us a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. And give us a comment. Let me know if I missed anything. I know the ratios are going to be completely off because I'm using the same inserters and belts everywhere. I still want to do those upgrades. I have 595. There we go. We've unlocked conveyor belt Mark IIs. Yep. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. And thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, cheers.